2017, I discovered Bitcoin. I had a friend in the software sales space. She had introduced it to me. She, was talking. We were talking about personal finance, and she was telling me how it was one of her best investments ever, and I should look into it. That week I was actually going to a wedding in Mount Shasta. I was living in San Francisco at the time, and I binge listened to every single Laura Shin Unchained episode to the wedding and back on 2x speed. And by the time I got home from the wedding, it was like Sunday. I downloaded Coinbase. I downloaded Bitcoin. I bought Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. This was in like fall of 2017, so like October-ish time. In the heat of a Bitcoin bull market and a crypto frenzy. And I was pretty much diving in head first. I was working sales in a software company. Wasn't super into the company. It was not really a good fit for me. I'd been there for about 18 months, and I was looking to figure out, how do I coach people on personal finance? How do I turn personal finance into my career? And then that's when I discovered Bitcoin, and Bitcoin just immediately just hit me as like, wow, this is the next evolution of personal finance. This is the next evolution of money. This is the digital plumbing for value transfer. Like, all of that kind of hit me all at once. I wasn't a Bitcoin maximalist right away, but because I had been working at software startups that had raised funds over the last couple of years while I was there, I kind of saw what it took to raise money in venture capital markets. And when I entered Bitcoin, there's this things called the ICO mania, or initial coin offerings, that were making all the noise, right? So this startup would create a promise of how to build so and so on a blockchain, Uber on a blockchain, Airbnb on the blockchain, whatever, and then they would raise like 10 times more than the startups I'd been working for that actually had real products, right? So I kind of was like, wow, my spidey senses are going off. There's something off here. And I just started Googling what's wrong with blockchain, what's wrong with ICOs. And the first people that came up were Bitcoin maximalists. And, a lot of people who are outside of the crypto space don't understand that Bitcoin maximalists are pretty anti-crypto outside of Bitcoin. But I discovered the Bitcoin maximalists. I discovered Ansel Lindner, Bitcoin and Markets. He's still one of the best content creators out there. We co-hosted a podcast on Bitcoin Magazine for a long time called FedWatch, which he still runs with a new host, Nolan Bowerly. But he was the first person that was really talking real sense about the Bitcoin market, the crypto market, and the rest of the macro sphere. And he's the one who really introduced me to the world of Bitcoin maximalism. And from there, it was clear that that's where the signal was. Like, it didn't take that long for me to be like, wow, pump and dumper crypto people, and then like Bitcoin people who are focused on building better technology and are morally, guided and principled folks. That was the dichotomy. And it was very clear that, I was attracted to the Bitcoiners. So 2 weeks before Christmas 2017, I put in my 2 weeks at my current job. If you go back and look at the chart, that's like within 5 days of the top. So I quit my job, pretty much at the Bitcoin top in 2017. Pretty sure all my coworkers were clowning me and like laughing at me, afterwards. But I was lucky enough. I asked, for my birthday that year for a ticket to the North American Bitcoin conference from my family. And I went to that event, and I met the Bitcoin Magazine team there. Shook some hands, said sales Bitcoin San Francisco, got the CRO's card. And by mid-February, I actually had a job. So it took me about 6 weeks to quit my job and then find a new job in the Bitcoin space that was oriented around Bitcoin. But at the time, Bitcoin Magazine wasn't even Bitcoin only. It was BTC Media. It was Bitcoin Magazine, distributed.com, distributed conference series. We hadn't done the Bitcoin conference series yet. So a lot has changed, during my tenure at Bitcoin Magazine, but I'm really thrilled to have joined the company. Had, to kind of 2 formative years from 2017 to 2020. cutting my teeth doing sales, learning the events and media business. And then in 2020, during COVID, we had let's just say a shakeup internally at the organization. And there's an opportunity for me to lead multimedia. I led multimedia, and then I got an opportunity to lead Bitcoin Magazine, period. And it's just been incredible to lead Bitcoin Magazine, to help on the Bitcoin conference, and to really develop the leading and most prominent platform for Bitcoin only on the planet. So it's been a blast. I recently left Bitcoin Magazine. I'm working on a new project that we'll be announcing soon. Still in the Bitcoin space, so really excited for that. But yeah, I mean, that's my story.